Hi everyone, it's Deja Yetmir from CrochetEverAfter.com, and right now I'm going to show you how to do a front post single crochet. I'm going to start my front post single crochet by doing a pattern repeat of one single crochet, one front post single crochet. So I'm going to start my round by chaining one, as I always do, and I'm going to insert my hook into the same stitch that I joined my round to create my first single crochet. That's going to create a straight seam. Next, I'm going to do my front post single crochet. This is what confuses people on this stitch, because you're working around a post, and some people, they see this post here, it looks like it's the very next post after the stitch you completed, so they think that's what you're going to work around. If you work around that stitch, you're going to be inserting your hook into the same stitch that you just created a single crochet from. And in effect, you're going to create an increase every time you do that. So the best way to remember where to insert your hook when making a front post stitch is to pretend you're going to complete just a regular single crochet next. Where would your hook go? It would go into the next stitch. So you're actually hooking the post that's after the stitch you're inserting your hook into. And you're going to insert your hook into the front because it's a front post stitch. If it was a back post stitch, you would insert your hook from behind. But we're making a front post stitch, so we go through the front, and then we need to come out the very next stitch. So you go in and then out the next stitch, and that's going to catch your post. So now you have your front post caught, and you're going to create just a regular single crochet from here. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over again, and do your single crochet. And now you've created your first front post single crochet. Next part is the next confusing thing for people when doing this stitch. Where do I make my next single crochet? If I'm looking at my project, it looks like my next stitch is this one. But in actuality, when you went in one stitch and out the other, you came out another stitch but did nothing in it. So this stitch that's kind of behind your post is actually the next stitch that you need to go into. Otherwise you're going to end up decreasing your round if you don't work into this stitch. So you're going to do just a regular single crochet there. Then it's easy to see your next stitch after that. That's where your next front post stitch is going to be. Insert in, come out the next stitch, yarn over, and pull up a loop. Now when I pull up the loop, I don't stop here at the front of my stitch and complete my single crochet because I'm going to have a really squashed front post stitch. I pull my loop so that my hook is parallel to my work. It sits right on top of my work. That's going to give me a nice tall post stitch. I yarn over and pull through. Then I look for that stitch behind my post stitch. That's where I need to insert my hook next. I don't skip this stitch, otherwise I'm going to decrease my round. Again, you go in through the front, out through the next stitch. There's my post. Yarn over, pull through and pull all the way till I'm parallel with my work. Yarn over and pull through. You can also pull apart like this to find your next stitch. It's a lot easier to see your next stitch when you pull it apart because it's not hidden behind your post stitch. If you're trying to find it like this, it's a lot more difficult to see where your next stitch is. But if you just pull on your stitches, you can see that nice big hole where you need to insert your hook next. So I'm going to continue in the round doing front post single crochet, single crochet, and it's going to create this ribbing effect. Almost, if you're using small, thinner yarn, it looks almost faux knitting. It almost looks like a knitting ribbing, which I really like. Not a lot of people use front post single crochet, but whenever I create anything with a single crochet stitch, like a beanie, a lot of my Fair Isle beanie patterns have kind of a knit looking rib at the brim, and this is how I do it with my front post single crochets. They are quite easy once you get going. And I'm going to show you how to work into the front post stitch after I finish this round. So here is my last stitch. I usually don't like to finish with a front post. On the last stitch, I'm just going to do a regular single crochet. I didn't count that very well because it's hard to get around a post when it's connected to the round. So usually I design where it's going to be a single crochet in that very last stitch, and that's the reason why. I'm going to join my round by inserting my hook into the first stitch and slip stitching. And I squish it down to make it invisible. I chain one and squish that down. And that's on my how to create an invisible straight seam tutorial if you want more information on why I do that. And then I insert my hook into that first stitch that I joined to do my first single crochet. Now I'm going to work around my post stitch. Once you get a row of post or a round of post stitches going, it's even easier to perform them because you can see exactly where you need to go. But just like before, I insert my hook into the next stitch and out the one after, and I catch my post, and then I just yarn over and pull that through and go parallel and pull through. And you'll see, let's see if I can get this to where it kind of shows, that I start getting a nice straight line up my work. So if you want to create like a ribbed cuff on a sweater, this stitch can be very good to create a nice dense ribbed cuff. You can use it to create a ribbed look on a beanie. There are quite a few uses that you can do with this stitch. I don't quite recommend it to do cabling because you use post stitches to do cables in crochet, and I would stick to double crochet or treble crochet post stitches for that, just because it's easier when you're trying to make the stitches lean. You have more room to make them lean. It's a little difficult to skip stitches like you would need to for cabling in a single crochet post stitch. But if you're making straight ribbing, this is a very good stitch to learn, and it's quite easy to do once you know how to do it. So, as you can see my little pattern that I have, and you can see the raised stitches, and you can alternate colors also. You can do one color as the post stitch and switch to another color for in between, which you'll see on a lot of my Fair Isle beanies also. So it's a fun stitch, and that is how you front post single crochet.